Welcome to another edition of Fight News Now Extra. My name is John Pollock, and we are discussing a lot of news going on in mixed martial arts as the UFC has a main event set for their return to Mexico in November. World Series of Fighting deals with the fallout from Saturday's card, and lots more to discuss with John Ramdeen and Robin Black on today's show. The World Series of Fighting organization has stripped welterweight champion Rousimar Palhares of his championship and suspended him indefinitely following Saturday's controversial win over Jake Shields. During the fight, Palhares was constantly warned of eye gouging and would later end the fight with a Kimura and once again holding on too long, leading to Shields punching him in the face after the fight. Company president Ray Seppo made the announcement on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani and didn't specify any plans to crown a new champion. The UFC has confirmed that Kelvin Gastelum will return to the welterweight division for his next fight and headline the Tough Latin America finale card on November 21st in Monterrey, Mexico against Matt Brown. Gastelum missed weight earlier this year before his fight with Tyron Woodley and was forced to compete at middleweight this past June. Gastelum is also serving as a coach alongside Efrain Escudero on the Tough Latin America Season 2 show. And Ronda Rousey has made good on her promise to leave her championship belt in Brazil, delivering it to a judo academy, which is owned by another Olympic bronze medalist, Flavio Canto. Rousey stated last week that the belt did deserve to stay in Brazil and was going to find a place to leave the championship after her win over Bethe Correia this past weekend at UFC 190. This coming Saturday, we are live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with a one-hour preview show leading into the fights from Nashville, Tennessee. The prelims will be airing exclusively in Canada on Fight Network starting at 8 Eastern, featuring Uriah Hall, Sarah McMahon, Dustin Ortiz, and many more on the prelim portion. Oh, and here with my pals John Ramdeen and Robin Black, it feels like an eternity, and about an eternity's worth of news has gone on since the three of us all sat down to talk. Rousimar Palhares is where we're going to start off first. Stripped of his World Series of Fighting welterweight gold, suspended indefinitely. I had no problem with this. Did either of you?
No, I think that's what everybody expected. I think a lot of people expected that he would be stripped of his title and booted from the organization. But Robin and I were talking about it. This guy's a commodity. You look at this huge weekend that went down in Brazil where Ronda Rousey captivated the audience. That was the number one story. The number two story wasn't Minotauro, wasn't Shogun Little Nogueira. It was Rousimar Palhares pulling that scumbag move, raking Jake Shields in the face, and then holding the submission too long. So.
Yeah. God, I'm almost tired of this one already. Like, he's just such a scumbag. Like, there's just no getting around it. I'm sorry. Look at it. You know, it starts with a guy holding submissions too long, right from jiu-jitsu competition on down. Can try to explain it however you like. If there's just something wrong with him, we can't have him fighting. If he's a real dick, we can't have him fighting. If he's trying to hurt people, it doesn't matter why he's doing it, he can't be fighting. And then that eye-raking stuff, that's UFC 1. You can't eye-rake people. And when he did it, he's on the bottom, Jake Shields has him squashed down, and he's taking advantage of him beautifully. Then he goes in with an eye rake. You've got that idiot ref goes in and pulls his head. Don't do that. Immediately eye rakes again. Yeah. Only with that dummy reffing could that possibly even happen.
And no points were taken.
Nothing.
No points. Steve Mazzagatti is proving that he is the worst referee in mixed martial arts. And again, it's not a witch hunt because I know, when Dana White says something, everybody's on them, but Mazzagatti continues to prove.
At the same time, it's like we need a bigger line in the sand here. This is not T-ball. This is fighting.
Yes,
and this guy who can't even operate, I'm talking about Palhares, within the rules. This sport is dangerous enough.
Exactly.
By following the rules. You have this nutcase who's not, he's just going to throw the rule book out. I'm sorry.
Absolutely
he's had more than 3 strikes. I would ban this guy permanently if I was Nevada. And if I'm a promoter, I'm not touching this guy. I don't care what I don't think his interest is really all that big, to be honest. I think he brings attention for all the wrong reasons.
It's true.
It's 2015. This is not Freak Show City where Palhares is suddenly this draw to people. It's very small, this guy's star power. I have no need for this guy. It's been multiple chances he's been given.
We talked about this, John and I. If he and I had to fight, we would look at that contract and in it would say, this is going to happen, this can happen, that guy can do it. When Roger Huerta fought in 1FC, it said you can get kicked in the head, you sign that thing, and you make that agreement. Nowhere in there. Even Jake Shields, in signing it, signed it with the knowledge that this could happen, and that was in the back of his head. But that eye-raking stuff, not only that, it's like, it's not by accident. He eye-raked him aggressively. And so Jake couldn't do anything. The ref wouldn't do anything. So he sits up to hit him. As he sits up, the guy bumps and immediately goes for the heel hook. It was strategized. It wasn't like, well, you know, I felt the pressure. He knew if he eye poked him, he'd come up to punch. If he came up to punch,
escape.
he could buck him, and he could go for his go-to maneuver. Never let that guy fight ever again.
Yeah, but the thing is, Palhares, he's ruining it because there's an actual story there. You look at the fact he stopped Jake Shields. No matter how you slice it, the eye rakes, the eye gouges, that's awful. But he did submit the guy that George St. Pierre couldn't take out. He submitted John Fitch, the guy that George St. Pierre couldn't take out. So if he was to just remove all of this, I don't know if it's fear or whatever it is, if he removed all of this thing, he would be a serious commodity. And I think the World Series of Fighting realizes that. And that's why they're not going to get rid of him, because there is still a hardcore audience. Let's be real. The casual fans are not making the World Series of Fighting a destination for them. But the hardcore fans that will follow Bellator, they'll follow Titan, they'll follow everything, are going to tune in to see, and they want to see this freak show. And the freak show is, even if he breaks the rules, he's somehow going to get a submission.
I think it's black and white irresponsibility to promote
I
this
agree.
guy. At this point, it's like, okay, the benefit of the doubt on how many occasions. And we went into this one thinking, hey, look what this guy's not in the UFC because of this. He's now not a champion in World Series of Fighting because of this. Whatever money this guy's lost, it's like nothing is going to ring through to this guy. He has had the book thrown at him. He's lost jobs over this, and still, it doesn't compute. You've won the fight. I don't understand it.
Jake Shields is a father. That guy literally tried to blind somebody's father in an already incredibly dangerous martial arts contest. Like, there's no discussion left to really have.
Quickly, what do you believe will be the punishment that Nevada hands down to him?
I hope banned for life.
Do you think there's any chance it could be that severe, a lifetime ban?
It really depends if when he goes in front of the commission and pleads his case. It depends on what he has to say.
And a lawyer would say, we've heard you lie under every kind of oath dozens of times, so we don't believe anything you say. Banned for life.
All right, well, the verdict is in here. For Robin Black, John Ramdy, and I am John Pollock. More Fight News Now Extra coming your way.